What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? What's good, man? Late night video. And we got to talk about Mr. Tommy Sotomayor. Mr. Tommy Sotomayor. But, oh, hold on. Oh, yeah. All right. So let's get it popping, man. So I want to talk about Tommy Sotomayor. Um, and he was recently on TMZ defending President Trump. But first of all, let me say what's good to everybody. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time at the Darrel Long channel, make sure that you hit the subscribe button because today we're going to be diving into a topic that really a lot of folks do not want to touch upon for a lot of different reasons. People are really afraid to have these conversations, especially if it involves somebody, that they believe can help their YouTube channel grow, et cetera, et cetera. They're not going to hold these people accountable. That's just what it is, bro. Now, let me put this down real quick. Hold on. hmm And I think I'm going to stop sharing the link out. I might keep sharing the link out, but some people don't like it. Some people do. All right. This bitch smoking. They keep telling me, Darrell, stop smoking in your content. And I do what I want to do. Now, listen, today again, we're going to talk about something that left even me speechless. And I'm not left speechless often. I'm not left speechless often. You know what I mean? Let me get my shit together, guys. All right. Today we need to talk about something that happened last week that honestly again left me speechless, and I'm not left speechless often. President Trump posted, and I'm not exaggerating here, one of the most blatantly racist images that I have ever seen from a sitting president in my lifetime. President Trump also shared a video depicting Michelle Obama and Barack Obama with their faces photoshopped onto apes. Onto apes. Now let that sink in for a second. Now you would think that these antics will be universally condemned by Democrats and Republicans. And for the most part, most people have condemned it, except a few individuals. And one of those individuals is Tommy Sotomayor. So today, me, Darrell Long, I'm going to break down exactly what happened, why it matters, and what this is going to mean when it comes to, our state of discourse, like how we go back and forth and how we talk about black politics and the things that affect the community in 2026. These type of people who defend these racist antics, blatantly racist antics, I believe that these people should not be a part of our discourse when it comes to black politics and what the black community need. But without further ado, let me go ahead and let's go to Tommy Sotomayor. Let's go to Tommy Sotomayor. I know that this is a TMZ video, so I probably should throw the fair use up there, but matter of fact, yeah, I gotta protect the channel. Gotta protect the channel. So we're gonna do the fair use joint as always. All right. Let's get it.
So I generally don't ask questions this way, but I just have to because to me, it's so obvious. Explain to me how this is not racist.
Well, first off, I think it's racist just to assume that apparently black people own looking like monkeys. Apparently, we're just supposed to own it. So if someone says we look like a monkey or that they put us on a monkey body or like what they did with the advertisement where the black kid had a monkey outfit, uniform on, just like the white kids did, it's somehow racist. So blacks should view themselves as monkeys. And anytime someone calls us that or puts us on the head of a figure, that we're supposed to be immediately outraged that this person is doing this. And let me explain to you.
Tommy, I'm sorry, I can't.
Look, hey, shout out to real men, man. Shout out to this real black man on TMZ for not wanting to hear the bullshit Tommy is on here spewing, bro. In fact, I'm pulling the fair use down because I feel like they're going to bless us. You feel me? Tommy has been one of the biggest Sambos in YouTube, and he always will be. You feel me? Again, on February 5th, late in the middle of the night, President Trump, the leader of our nation, posted a 60-second video on True Social, right? And for the most part of the video, it was pushing those debunked election fraud claims back in 2020, where he claimed that Joe Biden stole the election. The same conspiracy theories that have been thrown out in court over 60 times. But what's truly disturbing about the whole situation is at the 60-second mark, the video suddenly cuts to these images right here of primates with Michelle Obama and Barack Obama smiling faces superimposed on the bodies, and playing in the background is the song "The Lion Sleeps Tonight." Right now, this isn't some accidental screenshot or a random mistake. This was a deliberate edit, a video that somebody created with the specific intention of depicting the first black president and the first black first lady of the United States as apes. The backlash that President Trump faced was immediate and it was massive. And this is even more importantly, before I go back to the video, guys, fair use. It wasn't just Democrats calling this out. We gotta give some Republicans their credit right now, because I personally saw a video of Republican Senator Tim Scott. That's his name. Yeah, Tim Scott. And I'm pretty sure he cool with Trump, but he's one of the few black Republicans in the Senate, right? That's how I know him. He's one of the few black Republicans that speak up about the black community. And he said that it was the most, and I quote, the most racist thing that I've ever seen coming out the White House, end quote. Susan Collins, Dan Sullivan, French Hill, Mike Turner, all of these people are Republicans, and they all condemned what President Trump did on that Truth Social post. Mike Turner, who again is a Republican, specifically said that the images were offensive, heartbreaking, and unacceptable coming from the leader of the free world. And he also is calling for President Trump to apologize to the American people. Initially, the White House doubled down. We had Press Secretary Caroline, I think her name is Levitt, Caroline Levitt. She called it just an internet meme. She said that people have fake outrage, right? But hours later, Press Secretary Caroline Levitt would change her story, claiming that a staffer posted the video, and the video was later on deleted, that it was not President Trump, and the posts do not reflect how President Trump feels about black people. President Trump later on said that he didn't watch the whole video before posting it, which is his own problem, and he admits to that accountability, right? Apparently they have somebody else on their team, allegedly, that just posts on True Social, which I'm not sure if that's true or not, but let's go back to the video. All right.
Outraged that this person is doing this. And let me explain to you.
Tommy, I'm sorry, I can't just let that go without asking you something. Have you learned anything or studied history in this country is around
not the black man challenging your intelligence, Tommy,
around slavery and the depictions of black people in this country during slavery?
No, I have. Yes, sir.
Okay. And you know that was a common thing to equate black people to apes or monkeys. And usually it was a reference to they came from Africa, so they must be apes and monkeys. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, well, the idea of they came from Africa, there's a lot of animals that came from Africa. As a matter of fact, all of the ones that were depicted in the video, you guys didn't show the whole
Tommy,
video.
come on,
Biden
man.
was also a monkey. Well, Biden was a monkey in the video too, so why aren't we outraged? As Black people, we have carte blanche to call anybody anything we want. And I'm from the
That's
South.
not true. That's
Well,
It's not true at all. And see, this is why Tommy isn't really back on YouTube. And this is part of the reason why Tommy isn't respected for the most part. Like a lot of manosphere guys, they just be on his nuts for no reason. But when you see actual intellectual people, you have Harvey, and I forgot the other black man right here name, they don't respect Tommy. We talking about people. I mean, look at Harvey expression right now, bro. He looked absolutely disgusted. He looked absolutely disgusted. Truth be told, I'll be disgusted too. We have been dealing with Tommy Sotomayor and his antics for years. I'm going to reach out to people like the Grits podcast guy. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to try to assemble a team of super simps. That way we can go against these manosphere red pill ram bros. Yeah, I'm taking Sharon's shit. Yeah, these red pill incel manosphere bandits, we will uncover them. We will destroy them. And only I will be able to gather us together. Sharon, Brownsville, um they don't have the cachet. But you know what? Let's keep going, man.
who can't we call a name? Y'all have had people on your show that call white people aliens, that call white people devils. No one gets in trouble on national television for calling a white man a devil.
I mean, a devil is not
just a bad person.
A devil doesn't equate to race. It equates to character.
No, we actually, if the person beside you would tell you the truth, we actually believe that the white people are devil, and many believe that we're aliens. We
Well,
believe
I'll give you.
Tommy,
No,
please,
hold on. I can give him an
this
example.
argument, Tommy. Don't put me in your. I'm not trying to.
Well,
I'm not shoulder to shoulder with you.
You asked me though, but you asked me if I knew a historical context,
Right.
and so when I give you
Well,
one
I'll give
back,
you-
But we're talking. You're trying to talk about calling white people devils. No one's saying that that's okay, but that is a different thing than what we're talking about.
what I'm trying to say is, as a black.
And again, this is why I hate. You see, these intelligent guys at TMZ can understand that there's no true correlation in Tommy's argument. But if we was on a panel, one of these manosphere guys would be like, "Oh yeah, that totally makes sense." When it absolutely does not. It doesn't make any sense at all that you're correlating calling someone a devil, which has nothing at all to do with race. No one knows the race of Satan. No one knows the race of Lucifer. No one knows the race of the devil. But when you correlate from a historical standpoint, apes, primates, monkeys to black people in a way that was done on this Truth Social post right here, it's blatant racism. It's blatant racism. Now, Tommy will go on to explain that he thinks black people shouldn't be outraged by seeing this, by seeing the former black president, and the first lady depicted as apes. But according to TMZ, Tommy reasoning is problematic, right? You can see how they're responding. The host had to stop him mid-interview to give him what they call basically a quick history lesson. Tommy eventually would go back into his bullshit. He acknowledged that eventually he will acknowledge that the post was wrong, but he refused to say that it's racist. He's going to try to pivot to other issues, bringing up colorism, again, bringing up religion. Those things do not correlate right now. But you know what? Again, this is y'all king. And y'all wonder why black women don't believe that we're intelligent collectively, because y'all listen to people that look at how TMZ is treating him, bro. They can't even have a real genuine conversation. TMZ, invite me on next time. I'm gonna tag y'all. Harvey, I've actually debated Tommy Sotomayor and destroyed him multiple times. And I'll be happy to do it again, but he's afraid. Listen, Harvey, have me on. I'll tell you that it was racist. I'll stand 10 toes down. You brought the wrong man on. But let's keep going.
person, I refuse to believe that every time I see a depiction of a monkey and a white person doing it, I'm supposed to be outraged and automatically just upset. So I'm just agreeing that this is the depiction of me and my people.
It's so ride or die with certain people in Trump's camp that can't you bend the knee on one issue and still be a Trump supporter? Isn't this just one too far?
Oh, no, listen, I am one, if you watch my show, I criticize him as well. I think the people who support someone the most should be the ones that are most critical of them. Should he have posted this as a president? I think 100% not. There's a lot of things that he does as a president that are unprecedented.
We saw Tim Scott be able to say this is wrong.
Hey, look, I mentioned that earlier. I said Tim Scott, who is a black Republican who traditionally don't really be on our side. He traditionally be on their side. But for once in his life, he strapped his nuts on and said, "Nah, bro, this one wrong, bro." Tommy, hear me, bro. If they can get Tim Scott to say that Trump wrong, bro, just put the little shuck and jiving show aside for just one moment and be a person, man. And just be a person, Tommy, please. Jesus Christ, this is utterly embarrassing.
And I'm not sure why you can't say this was wrong.
Well, first off, again, when they use the word racist versus wrong, they're two different things. When I hear the word of racist, I'm supposed to just be a frayed Klan member. And you have to understand, I've been black my whole life. And unlike you,
hey,
I've been
that makes two of us.
So now
we're going to do colorism?
You have to be a frayed Klan member. And you have to understand, I've been black my whole life. And unlike you,
hey, that makes two of us.
So now we're going
to do colorism?
Yeah, Tommy still think he's on a panel talking to, the guys, talking to people who worship him. No, you're talking to two highly successful individuals who, for their careers, get information and put information out. That's all they do. Get information and put information out. And you believe, and one of these guys, and Harvey, is a fucking law student. He's a fucking lawyer. He's not just a media personality. Y'all be having Harvey fucked up. He is a lawyer. He practiced law. Tommy, you didn't even go to college. You didn't even go to college, Tommy. And you think that you're gonna come on here with this colorism bullshit? I try to tell y'all so many times, bro. Black men need to have scholastic conversations. Scholastic conversations. Ones that have purpose and meaning and education. Right? Ones that have facts. At the end of the day, the facts is, first of all, let's finish Tommy. Tommy is a political, conservative commentator at this point. But in the beginning, he was a man rights activist who basically built his entire brand and built the manosphere off being controversial, saying things that historically are inaccurate, right? Particularly when it comes to criticizing Black women and the Black community, as you can see. Tommy previously interviewed former Klansman or the former Klans leader, David Duke, on his YouTube channel. And Tommy also appeared on David Duke's podcast. Tommy has also been on the Proud Boys founder show. His name is Gavin McInnes. Tommy, listen, I had all these clips back in the day. I might be able to find them still, but Tommy was for sure on. He did an interview with David Duke, and he did an interview with the Proud Boys founder. You know what I'm saying? Making inflammatory statements about Black women and accurate statements about Black women in the Black community. Tommy Sotomayor is not new to controversy, right? I can't say that. But this is somebody who has consistently positioned himself as a Black man who is willing to say the most darkest fucking things about Black people, knowing that most of us will find these things offensive. And worst of all, he's doing all of this just to become monetized, just to make a dollar. Just to make a dollar. Right? He's not Taz exclusive. He's not even Angry Man. If we keep it in a bean, if we y'all say he built the manosphere, that means he built a house off hate. But y'all don't want to have that conversation. You know what? Let's go back to the video.
But
Now we're gonna do colorism? Okay.
But unlike you, wait a minute. But unlike you, I've been dark skinned my whole life.
Okay.
And you know what I've been told? You know what I've been told by black folks? That same Monkey, Crispy, Blackie, Midnight, Smokes, and all these.
The crispy one might be true, but everything else, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody experienced some type of prejudice or people being. It happens to everybody, and you're upset that black people made fun of you. First of all, Tommy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry black people made fun of you. I really am. But that doesn't excuse your behavior. As a matter of fact, let me give you some historical context. See, what Tommy either doesn't understand or what Tommy is choosing to ignore is the comparison of black people to apes isn't just offensive. It's rooted in centuries of scientific racism that is used to justify slavery, segregation, and ongoing discrimination that impacts black people and brown people to this day. We see it with situations such as ICE. We see it with situations such as ICE, how they're, in my opinion, being very discriminatory. This isn't new. It goes all the way back to the 18th century based on my research, and it probably goes back further than that. When black people first met the white colonizers and the enslavers created pseudoscientific theories claiming that black people were less evolved. At this point, I believe they introduced that black people were 3/5 of a human bullshit. Closer more to animals than human, deserving to be treated like animals than human, and therefore ultimately deserving of enslavement. What Tommy don't understand is these people literally drew connections between Africans and monkeys to dehumanize black people. Let's go with some of these founding fathers. Thomas Jefferson, for example. Yes, one of our founding fathers who wrote, and I quote, Thomas Jefferson wrote, "All men are created equal." Right? Somebody in my chat, let me know where did Thomas Jefferson write that. Let's see if we got some history buffs in my chat tonight. Where did he write it? When did he write it? I need a year. Thomas Jefferson wrote, "All men are created equal with inalienable rights." Right? He wrote in his text notes on the state of Virginia that black women were preferred sexual partners of orangutans. Right? Let me say that again for you guys. Thomas Jefferson has a text that is titled Notes on the State of Virginia, where in that text he says that black women were preferred sexual partners of orangutans. Again, we're talking about a different level of dehumanization that our black ancestors had to deal with, and that Thomas Jefferson, again, somebody who would be in a position like a President Trump, a higher up person in American culture, is talking about black women having sex with orangutans. Then during the civil rights movement, black activists were depicted as apes in political cartoons to suggest that they weren't civilized enough for equal rights. And when schools, you know, started to become desegregated, Nick Child. President President Eisenhower actually talked about white parents being concerned about their daughters being in classrooms with what he called big black bucks. Again, dehumanizing, in this situation, black children, and more specifically, young black boys. They literally had President Eisenhower saying that he was worried about the safety of young white girls. And eventually, because I don't want to just do a whole history lesson, this will continue with President Obama, as we just saw with President Trump. Throughout his presidency, though, President Obama and his campaign, he was featured on monkey shirts, posters depicted as a monkey, merchandise depicted as a monkey. This isn't new. What's actually new is having a sitting president share this imagery from an official presidential account. That's what's new. It's not ancient history that we have racism. It's not ancient history that we have ongoing tools of racial oppression. And then when we have people like Tommy Sotomayor say he's not offended, what he's really saying is that he don't give a fuck, he don't understand the history, or he's choosing to ignore it for his own financial benefit. That's just the facts. Then we have to look at this whole question about people like Tommy. Is he a person that hates himself, right? What Tommy Sotomayor displays isn't just a different political opinion. This is what internalized racism looks like when it goes unchecked and then it gets platformed. And shout out to the black women for unplatforming him. Shout out to y'all for holding it down. Y'all look. Shout out to y'all. There's a big difference from being a black conservative, which is a legitimate political position, and being someone who consistently defends anti-black racism while being black yourself. There is a difference between criticizing the black community because you want to see it improve and making a career out of basically tearing down black people for your own entertainment or for the entertainment of others, again, to the end of you making a dollar. Tommy's entire brand has been built on the black guy who agrees with racist people, basically. Let me drink some. Fucking love that lemonade tea. It's fire. Tommy would see a white guy doing blackface and again just completely ignore the racial aspect of it. And then again, think about it like this, bro. Tim Scott, who I'm pretty sure he fucked with Trump, but even more importantly, he's a super Republican, bro. Even he called it out for racist, but Tommy Sotomayor will not. What does this tell you about Tommy? Right, I've grown up. I'm not here to make fun of Tommy and play the crispy videos and all that shit. I genuinely want to have a genuine conversation and hopefully a genuine impact as I continue to make more videos and position myself on this space as I think the best YouTuber in this space. That's how I feel about myself, high key. Nevertheless, Tim Scott, again, is a conservative Republican who stood by Trump through thick and thin. Through all this Epstein shit, he been quiet. But when this Obama picture came out, he stood 10 toes down. I gotta respect that. Even if you don't like him, I gotta respect that, bro. And the fact that Tommy was okay with the first lady being depicted like that a black woman, just goes to show you he has absolutely no remorse for black women or for black culture at all. And again, I'm not going to show it too often. You guys can go just look at on True Social because I'm not even sure if that thumbnail is friendly. I might get flagged for that shit. I hope I don't. I was just doing it for research purposes and commentary purposes. Okay, this is the thing that folks that frustrates me the most about Tommy. Tommy goes on TMZ, which is a mainstream platform, millions of people watching. And his message to black people was to essentially, you shouldn't be outraged. You shouldn't care about this. You should just, move on and do something else. Act like this racism in front of us doesn't exist. And even worse, like I said, it's one thing when it's your neighbor, if it's the mailman, that's one thing. But when it comes from the president of the United States and he's now trying to blame it on a fucking staffer and they don't want to say the staffer's name, bro, come on, man. This is not just a difference of opinion. This is actively working against your own community's dignity and the black community's humanity. Because I don't want to take it there, but I got to, because I like making examples because I want these men to understand, and they probably won't care anyway. But the people who I know that rock with Tommy, like the Angermans of the world, my brother Izzy, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine if Trump had posted y'all wives and daughters or something as fucking apes. That'd be completely inappropriate. Not just because the racial element behind it, but because as the president, he is supposed to represent a certain type of decorum and a certain type of manliness, a certain type of presidentialness. And I know y'all understand what I'm saying because y'all expect these women to behave a certain type of way. If she a wife, she's not supposed to go outside with certain clothes on. She's not supposed to talk to men in the twilight of the night. But so we have more standards put on women today than we do for the president of the United States. And that is a motherfucking problem. Then when we and shout out to DJ Truth, I see you over there, bro. I'm just trying to get all these thoughts off my mind, and then I'm gonna address the chat. Let me get the fuck out of here. Let's zoom out of this, bro, for a second, because it's not just about Tommy, right? I don't want to make it seem like we just bullying Tommy. It's not even about the one post that Trump made. This incident reveals something deeply troubling about where we are in the country as of 2026. We have a president who, at best, is extremely reckless to the point where he will share racist content without even watching it, or at worst, knew exactly what he was sharing and only walked it back when the backlash became too intense and he had fucking Republicans going against him. Then we go to the White House. The White House speaker initially defended this and said, "Oh, it's just the internet meme. It's just the internet meme. Why are you people? This is fake outrage. Fake outrage." Christy Gnomes weaponizing ICE against Hispanic children. This tells you guys that in 2026, under the Trump administration, racism has become normalized. Racism has become normalized in specific circles, not in all. But I also have to say that people like Tommy Sotomayor, who are willing to provide cover for this racist behavior, is very dangerous. And it gives permission to others to dismiss legitimate concerns about racism and, well, what's the proper way to say it? Because they wouldn't just say it's racism. I want to say it's institutionalized racism that we face specifically as African Americans. They are very dismissive of how much of it that we face. And black women, considering that they're, black and women. When a black person says that the monkey shit isn't racist, blackface isn't racist, blah 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 blah. Y'all, I don't even want to use the N-word tonight. You see, I've been trying not to go there. Trying to clean my language up. But y'all marks, y'all allow racist people, bro, to point and say, "Oh yeah, your man's he black, he not offended, so why you offended?" It basically provides a hypothetical shield, like a, you know what I'm saying, like you fucking Sue Storm on Fantastic Four, and you're covering these people, or you're like fucking Isabella with her power when she was covering her in Twilight. You're putting this shield between them to say this behavior is okay and this behavior is okay to continue. I think that's the ultimate problem that a lot of people have with Tommy, and he just, maybe he's still making a little dollars on it. I don't know. I haven't been watching Tommy in a long time. You feel me? This came across my shit because I'm subscribed to TMZ, and I was trying to see what they had going on with Corey Holcomb, because he been talking about them on their show. So I was thinking they was gonna respond. Instead, I see fucking Tommy. Now, I'm not telling people to cancel Tommy over his opinion. I wouldn't say that. Just like I never told people to cancel Charlie Kirk over his opinion. I wouldn't say that. Oh, thank you, Ghetto. Hey, look, Ghetto, you see, I haven't even asked for no money tonight, bro, because when you see me come online tonight like this, I'm just talking, no sound effects and shit, I'm dead ass serious. Bro, we got kids. My wife, she already got adult sons. And the one that live with us, she's 17, she about to be an adult soon. Our country is in turmoil. But thank you for your $5, my brother. Let me go ahead and hit you with the super chat sound.
Ooh, cash make the coochie go woo woo.
That nigga's a goddamn $5 boot right now. $5 boot.
$5 boot. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Tommy has the right to free speech, as did Charlie Kirk, which is why I never supported what happened to Charlie Kirk. And I never will support what happened to Charlie Kirk, regardless, because I believe that we as black men are intellectually, we can be intellectually superior enough to simply debate on merit and fact and win on merit and fact. We do not need to take somebody's life just because they have a separate opinion from us. That is diabolical. That is uncivilized. And I'll say it again, despite some of my own people, like my wife, hate when I say it, but it is what it is. Charlie Kirk should be alive. And I'll take it a step further. Debate culture was better when he still had fucking oxygen in his lungs. But this show is not about Charlie Kirk. This show is about the Tommy Sotomayor, the media, and their role that they have, right? I'm not in a position to hold TMZ accountable, but they did give Tommy Sotomayor a platform specifically because they knew his take would be controversial. Let's be honest. For them to act like they don't know who Tommy Sotomayor is, for them to act like they don't know that he was banned from YouTube because 14,000 black women signed a petition because they felt disrespected. They knew that having a black man defending a racist post would generate clicks, would generate views, and ultimately, because I do this YouTube shit, it would generate engagement. People like myself doing reactions, other individuals doing reactions. And then they don't find some random guy off the street. They find Tommy Sotomayor, somebody who is attached to, in my opinion, I gotta give him his credit, probably millions of fucking black men across the country and abroad. TMZ, if I was to hold them accountable, I would say that they're not doing journalism right now. What they're doing is rage bait. It's like what Anton does. They're platforming someone that they know will say something inflammatory because it drives traffic, right? And in doing so, they're amplifying Tommy's message that, and maybe Tommy, I'm not, saying this is I'm not quoting this, but Tommy basically would say that all black people are not offended by these racist behaviors and this racist shit that Trump has done, which is exactly what certain audiences want to hear, which make me think that this video wasn't meant for black people. It was meant for the audience that enjoyed Tommy Sotomayor. Guys, media is like an ecosystem. We all live in it, right? It's all around us, and unfortunately, it actually, even while we're asleep, media is still moving around us. Controversy drives clicks. Outrage drives clicks and engagement. And with nuance, right? Thoughtful analysis doesn't trend on Twitter the way black men defending racism does. Let me say that again. Thoughtful analysis doesn't trend on Twitter, YouTube, or social media the same way black men defending racist behavior does. Which is why Tommy is so successful. Which is why Anton is so successful. Which is why what's the other guy? Officer Tatum, successful. The media has a responsibility here. Because TMZ, again, I'm not in a place to hold you guys accountable. I would just hope that you guys just hear me out. When you platform someone, you're not just giving them airtime, you're lending them credibility. Even though you disagree in the video, you're lending them credibility. You're saying this perspective that Tommy has deserves to be heard. And sometimes certain perspectives, they don't deserve to be amplified, right? This amplification of Tommy's message is part of the reason why our community is so fucked up now. We just had a young man that was married. He was lost. Said he was online looking for a YouTube daddy. And here we are having educated people like Harvey amplifying voices that we don't need and perspectives that we don't need to be amplified. Now, ultimately, Tommy Sotomayor, for the record, most of us believe that he doesn't represent the black community. He doesn't, right? He doesn't represent, I don't even think he represents black conservatives, right? Because I look at him like Anton. Anton's a black conservative. They don't get along at all, right? But for the most part, the overwhelming response from black people across this political spectrum was that this was horrible and that they were disgusted by President Trump's post. We have civil rights organizations that have condemned it, like the NAACP, black celebrities who have condemned it, right? Like the Wayans brothers. Black politicians on both sides of the aisle have condemned it, like I said, with Tim Scott. Regular black people on social media, like myself, are condemning it. The NAACP said that President Trump posting this video during Black History Month was even worse. It was a stark reminder of how Trump and his followers really view people, right? The fact that you would post it on Black History Month, and I don't have this in my notes in front of me, but I am scarcely reminded that when the Central Park Five was arrested in New York, it was President Trump who wasn't the president at the time, who actually called for the boys to be hanged or put to death, whatever you want to call it. 5 boys who we know will eventually be vindicated and ultimately adjudicated. I think even in conservative black circles, people are appalled. This specific situation isn't a right or left issue. This is just a basic human dignity situation, right? Tommy is an outlier. Tommy is a statistical anomaly. Someone who has, in my opinion, positioned himself far outside of the mainstream black experience, that his perspective is almost alien, is almost foreign to most black people, which is why I never, even when I heard about him in the manosphere, I never really rocked with him. I knew Kevin. I watched a lot of Kevin content. I knew Angry Man. But Tommy, my first interaction with Tommy, the first time I ever watched any show with him was when Lawrence Smith Fields died. Quick little off script. Lawrence Smith Fields was a black woman in Bridgeport, Connecticut a few years ago who met a man who was publicly because I'm not doxing him. This public information. He was publicly named as Matthew LaFontaine. I'll never forget this because Lawrence Smith Fields was fucking gorgeous, chocolate, beautiful woman, right? And she ended up passing away, and there was basically no justice. Her brother showed up after the police moved her body, and they found condoms and all kind of shit. It was almost like the crime scene wasn't even fully broken down. And you know what? I might do an update. I might do a video about Lawrence Smith Fields, right? And coincidentally, another black woman died that day, but I can't remember her name right now. The whole point is this. When Tommy did a video about it, Tommy was saying that he didn't care because she was online saying that she only dated white men. So he wasn't, as a black man, he wasn't going to defend her. He was saying a lot of other stuff that I just don't want to repeat right now. But ultimately, what's important for us to understand is because you see Tommy Sotomayor on TMZ, you might think, oh, black people are divided on this. No, we are not divided. We are focused. There is overwhelming consensus that I'm not saying Trump is a racist, but this was a racist post and this was unacceptable. And this points to the people who are saying he is a racist. This gives them legitimately a good reason to say so. It was completely unacceptable. Tommy happens to be the one person willing to go on TV and say otherwise. The one person who willing to go on TV and say that's not racist when everybody else can, which goes to show you he's not really trying to win in life. That's why Anton ignored him, because you would never be Anton. That's why Team Portugal was saying, you know, he mad. And I actually agree with Team Portugal. He's not a fool. So to conclude, guys, where does this situation leave us? We have a president who shared a blatant racist image and has since refused to apologize. And it seems like he's willing to face the consequences than just give a simple apology. We have a media ecosystem that profits from platforming the most controversial takes that they can possibly find. They didn't go get Anton. He would have said the same thing, but a little bit more smoother, a little bit more charismatic, which is still a problem, right? It's still a problem. And we have individuals like Tommy, unfortunately, who have continuously built their careers on being willing to defend the indefensible. completely willing to defend the indefensible. What happened last week wasn't just about one post, it was a test to see how much racism could be normalized. How much will the American people accept? How much will the American people allow to slide? We already got Minneapolis basically being used as a test grounds. ICE has been all but weaponized. And the fact that the post was deleted right afterwards, you know what I'm saying, right after the backlash, I should say, it shows that they needed to push backwards. And it is to say, hey, maybe we took it too far. Tim Scott speaking out, that is a good deal. We got to give him his credit. Even though we, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Listen, we'll never vote Republican. But Tim Scott, shout out to you, bro. That was real shit. When I see Republicans breaking ranks, I know we are on the right side of history, right? And we got the public. The public outcry in the situation was tremendous. We cannot let up. We can never let up. Because for every Tommy Sotomayor willing to provide cover for racism, there needs to be another person like me, right? And I'm even calling for a ceasefire between Sharon Bracey, Brownsville, and myself. They're gonna say, we don't got no problem with Darrel. Yes, y'all do. And we don't gotta work together. I don't gotta come on y'all shows. Let's make that clear right now. But I remember showing Brownsville a video where Tommy was saying a whole bunch of shit, and Sharon didn't want to hold him accountable because Tommy was at that point coming on the show getting Sharon views. In Brownsville, you know I'm not dissing you right now. You know that's the goddamn truth. You know it, bro. To my black viewers, your offense at the image that President Trump posted is valid. Your anger towards this situation is justified. The people who are hurt by it, that is valid and it's justified. Do not let anyone, including someone who looks like you, even if they built the manosphere, tell you that your feelings about being dehumanized are somehow misplaced or wrong or simpish or whatever the fuck. To everyone else who's watching, pay attention. Pay attention to the individuals who are willing to defend the indefensible. Pay attention to those who get platformed and why they are platformed. Pay attention to the patterns, because this is not an isolated event. This is a part of a larger strategy to normalize racism by finding black faces who are willing to defend it. This has been a very heavy episode, man. And these are the conversations that we need to have moving forward. If you made it this far, all right, I want you guys to drop a comment below with your thoughts. Do you think that Tommy Sotomayor genuinely believes what he is saying? Or do you think this is just a grift just to get money? I'm actually curious. Shout out to my brother Stoic with his $5 super chat, okay?
That nigga's a goddamn $5 boot right now. $5 boot.
$5 boot. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Like I said, I'm interested in everybody's perspective. If you guys have video ideas and topics, please let me know. You guys can email me, hit me up on IG, whatever. But also, if you found value in this video, and if you cannot hit the Cash App, if you cannot donate, hit the like button and share this video with someone who who might be interested in hearing the commentary. And subscribe to the channel if you're watching and you haven't subscribed already, because maybe there's technically YouTube be fucking up sometimes. But make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell, That way you always get notified when I'm going live or when I make a post. But with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay informed and keep holding people accountable. And also, shout out to Don Lemon. Glad to see you free, my brother. Regardless of your race, just try to focus on peace and prosperity, man. That being said, we out of here. Peace.